Welcome back to my channel. Let me share a story that happened to me years ago to you, and it might just be the encouragement you need in this season of your life. Who knows? So, about 12, 15 years ago, I used to work with a company, and there was a time we were supposed to meet some investors, and it was a very big deal at that time for the company. Being an administrative assistant at that time, we were making sure that everything goes on well. The day before the project, my boss asked me to come early, and I had promised him that I was going to come early. We were all so eager. I was so excited as a young professional at that time. I wanted to prove myself. You know how it is in the corporate world. I wanted to prove myself. Before that time, I had worked so hard on this thing. I had crossed my T's, dotted my I's, and I had promised myself, even before he told me to come early, I had promised myself that I was going to be at work very early. Finally, the day came. I used to live very far from the office. So it would take me between 40 minutes to 1 hour to get to work. That day, I couldn't even sleep. Like, I was so anxious about the following day. Everything was ready. The following day, I woke up early. I bathed, I did everything. Straight, I left the house. I picked the bus. I was going to work. And tell me why that fateful day, I could remember what I was wearing vividly. I was wearing a white shirt and brown trouser. I was looking really smart. Tell me why in about 10 to 15 minutes after the bus moved, I turned to look at my shoulder, and on my shoulder was like this really greasy black thing had poured on my shoulder. I don't know where it came from. I looked around. There was no mechanic that would say, okay, the person was holding some dirty engine oil and it poured on me. Nothing. And I even asked the conductor in the bus, like, what happened to my shirt? Like, everybody was just like, oh, sorry. And nobody could give an answer. You know, I was so sad at that time. I was left with no other choice than to go back home and change. I got home, changed, and you know, I had to alight from that car, pick another car. I got home, quickly changed, and I set off to work. Right? I got back to the to the roadside to look for a bus, and there was no bus coming. Those of you who know the traffic of Accra, there are certain times when you leave the house, definitely you're going to get to wherever you want to go, get too late, because if you don't have a car, there is a possibility that you're not going to get a bus early. Finally, I got the bus, and on the way, it was already time. Remember, my boss asked me to come at 7. It was already maybe like past 7:30, and he called me and he was like, "Alon, where are you?" And I said, "Oh, I'm on my way." He just got angry and said, "Go back home. You know how important this day is. Go back home." I was so sad. And you know, and he was like, "Do not come here today. Go back home." And with the voice, the authority at which he said it, I knew that I had messed up. And sadly, I turned and I went back home. I was so sad because this was something that I was so like, I really wanted to work on and possibly could add to my CV. You know, could add to my CV that I worked on something like this, but it didn't happen. I was so sad. I didn't understand why it would happen to me. Finally, I had to go home. Tell me why. When the evening news was read, when I go to work, where I usually pick a car, tell me why the day that thing happened, that bus stop that I would have stood between 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. when I close from work and pick a bus to my house. Tell me why Between that time, between 5 to 5:30, a bus ran into the people there and killed about 5 people and injured so many. The day that that thing poured on me, the day that I was so sad that that opportunity passed me by, tell me why that thing happened at that time there, and I was home and I was safe, despite the fact that I did not have the opportunity to work on the thing anymore, but my life was preserved. You see, that thing taught me a great lesson, that nobody knows God's way and God will always protect his children. I am not saying the people there at that time were not his children. No, that is not what I am saying. I am sharing my own personal testimony, how God saved me, because I could have been there. I could have been part of those people. But his mercy saw it and know that I would rather preserve her life for her to miss the opportunity to work on this project than for her to lose her life. So I was asked to go back home. And do you know what? The following day, when I went to work, it was like nothing had happened. It was like my boss was just okay with it. I thought I would get a query or something. Nothing. He was so welcoming. He didn't even talk about that thing anymore. They just briefed me about the meeting that happened. So you see, if you hear this story that I am saying today, it is to encourage you that in everything that is happening to you is working together for your good. You see, God is a wise God, and God is a God that protects his children a lot. You might you might be seeing something as a misfortune right now, but it might just be God's protection for you. You know, God is a God that protects us. As I am sharing this story, the picture that came to my mind is like, you see, as toddlers are about to walk, when they stand up, you see how their parents guide them. Maybe they are trying to take a walk, but their parents sometimes guide them from behind so that when they are about to fall, they quickly grab them. Sometimes when you grab children, they cry because they feel like you are restricting them from something, but it is you protecting them. God is our Father, and sometimes He protects us from things that we think that why did He did it that we think that why didn't He allow us have this opportunity, but He knew that that opportunity might lead us into distraction. He knows that that opportunity will not be the one that will take us into his promise for us. So sometimes he prevents certain things from happening to us. It might look like something good is passing you by, but God is God, that he will use all of it to work together for your good. So if you are going through something today and you are asking God why, know that God always has the answer, and yours is to believe and yours is to trust him. I hope what I have told you now encourages you to exercise patience for yourself and not be too hard on yourself, and put your trust in God. Do your best. Learn all that you are supposed to learn about something. Do all that you are supposed to do, and leave the rest in the hands of God. I I know that God will see all of us through. Take care of yourself. I'm always forgetting to say please subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. My name is Elon. I'll see you again in the next one. I hope this helps somebody. Take care of yourself. Bye.